Hello and welcome. You're watching the 2:30 factor on NDTV Profit. Let's in fact pull up the Nifty and see how the Nifty is doing at this hour. You've got Nifty 52 points in the green. That's 8569, but it's been a lackluster day for the markets today. The markets off the day's high right now. Sensex is up about 168 points, 28,239 is where it's trading. Let's take a look at the market breadth and the top gainers and losers in the markets today. Let's pull up the Nifty, the broader markets first that are all in the green. About 1% in the green is where the BSE small cap, Nifty Junior and the mid cap is. The market breadth now, 70% of the stocks are advancing versus about 24% that are declining. So the market breadth is actually looking good, perhaps an indication of the fact that how the mid caps and small caps are possibly pulling up the other broader indices, and you're seeing a good market momentum, at least in terms of the market breadth. But the top gainers there on the Nifty, Z Entertainment is up 3%, Tata Steel is up nearly 3%, Bajaj Auto 2.5% gains there. So it's across the board that we are seeing some of those big blue chip counters doing well. Infosys, Wipro all following closely behind, Lupin, Tech Mahindra and Care India all gaining between 1.5 to 2.5%. Among the top losers, it's the banking stocks that you can see all across, BOB, ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, all of them losing around a little less than 1.5%. Coal India, SBI and BPCL all showing about 0.5 to 1% losses. Why is the banking pack not doing well today? We're going to talk more about that with all our guests. But for now, let's take a look at the bank Nifty. That's down about 60 odd points, trading at 18,912. So that's as far as overall the market view goes. Let's take a look at some of the broader markets as well and some of the other volume buzzers that are there. You can see them on your screen. Nitin Fire, Bajaj, Balaji Telefilms is up 20% and HCL Infosystems is up 17%. So overall, those are some of the volume buzzers there. Tata Sponge, Wheels India and HCC all gaining between 7 to 10%. Ruchit Jain is with us now. He's equity technical analyst with Angel Broking. He joins us from Mumbai. Good to have you on the show, Ruchit. Your overall sense of what's happening in the markets today, a lackluster day, but looks like we're going to end in the green.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shweta. Well, probably we've seen in last few trading sessions, the momentum has been quite positive. Nifty, after taking support around 8,300, which was a medium-term support level, it's giving a good bounce back. And the good thing about this last few days of rally is that the rally is broad market base. So advanced decline ratio, the market breadth is quite positive in this up move, which indicates that the momentum is likely to continue on the higher side in near term. So for medium term traders, 8350 or 8300 has become a base now, and this momentum is likely to continue higher up to 8650 or beyond those levels.
I want to talk to you specifically about the banking pack, because if we look at the Nifty top losers today, it's clearly the banking stocks that are not doing well. Share with us your view on Bank Nifty first, and then we talk about some of the individual counters.
So Bank Nifty, if you observe, then there's a falling trend line resistance around 19,100, and around those level itself, since last couple of days it is resisting. So the fresh momentum would coming only after this index crosses 19,100. Now what has happened in this sector in last few days is PSU banks specifically have given a sharp upside movement in last 3-4 trading sessions, wherein we have seen some mid cap as well as even large cap PSU banking seeing up move of almost 15 to 20%. But however, this index has not shown that big upside movement, because majority of the constituents of Bank Nifty are from private sector banks, which are doing sideways, except ICICI Bank in last few days. So probably we are expecting that this 19,100, which is acting as a resistance since last couple of days, once this resistance is taken out, then only the fresh momentum in banking sector would pick on. Otherwise, there's a possibility first a corrective action might come in Bank Nifty or individual banking names which have done great which have done good in last 3-4 days, and some other sector such as IT, CNX IT, which was consolidating, that might move upside in the next few days.
Okay, but your favorite picks or the picks that you would like to talk about within the banking space in both private as well as public banks?
Among the banking space, Shweta, as I told you, we are expecting a minor correction unless this 19,100 is taken out. And on corrective dips, not at current level, but on corrective, we are positive on mid-cap, certain mid-cap banks such as IDBI is one of those, wherein we have seen that good support being taken around 58, 59 levels, and again uptrend getting started in those. So IDBI is one of the stock where we are positive in this space. Although the buying should be done at lower levels, and if at the current levels, if anyone to go for any trades on long side, I won't recommend anything in banking sector, but rather IT space would be the one where one can create long positions even at current levels.
All right, so you can see the public sector banks there on your screen. Union Bank, that's up 1%. But let's shift our focus on the one counter where we've seen earnings just being declared for Marico, profit at 238 crore rupees versus 217 crore rupees. In fact, the poll had talked about the profit is at 153 crores versus 224. That is for, sorry, I apologize. That is the Tata Chem earnings, because I'd read Marico earlier. Marico sales there flashing on your screen now. 1,780 crores are the revenues. The profit is 238 crores versus 217 crores is what the estimate was. So that's the Marico first quarter numbers coming in. We'll try and get a sense of how good the numbers are. The stock reaction, if we could pull up the stock now and see how it's doing. You've got Marico trading at 449 rupees. It's up about 8 rupees or so, a little over 7 rupees, 1.67% in the green. Another set of earnings that has come in is Tata Chemicals. That stock has just slipped in the red as we speak. So that's clearly an earnings impact perhaps that we're seeing. Tata Chemicals, let's pull up the numbers for them. Profit at 153 crore rupees versus the estimate of 224 crores. So that clearly is not looking good at all compared to the estimate, and that's why perhaps we're seeing that stock reaction. Let's go across and get a sense from Ruchit as to whether he tracks any of these two counters and his view there. Ruchit, Marico, do you track that stock?
Yes, Marico has been in an uptrend, linear uptrend, if you observe since past many months, and probably there are still no signs that this upside momentum would halt over here. So even after this current up move in last few days, still this stock is quite an attractive buy at current levels. But the thing is, this is generally it does not show much big momentum in a very short term. So probably it's not a trading it's not a trading stock. So short-term traders are not advised to take any trade in this, but those who are long-term investors can still look to buy this stock at current levels also.
Staying with the overall FMCG space, if we could pull up the Nestle counter, that counter has clearly been in the news, and there's been positive news coming in of the FSSAI, the Food and Food Safety Regulators, recent test showing that its product, Maggi noodles, that's been in the news for the wrong reasons, is actually safe, and that's why we're seeing a sharp reaction there coming for the Nestle stock. 7% up, it's trading about 440 rupees in the green. Ruchit, your sense on Nestle at this point when the news clearly seems positive, otherwise the stock had taken a beating in the last few weeks?
Yeah, after beating also we saw that for at least 3 to 4 weeks we saw the stock was trading in a sideways consolidation zone. 6400 was the resistance level, which today it has given a breakout after the news is out, and probably now on any dips 6400 would act as a short-term support according to the gap theory. So if the stock gets a minor dip, maybe around 6500 or between 6400 and 6500, one can look to accumulate this stock. Traders can keep a stop loss below 6200, and on the higher side it has a potential to go up to 7000, 7100.
All right, Ruchit, Imami, do you track Imami and your views there on that counter? Again, earnings have been reported.
Yeah, similar to other names such as Marico and all that, this counter has been in a linear uptrend, and probably we have seen that after every declines, volumes start coming in and generally the stock starts moving higher. So the trend is still up in this stock, and irrespective of what the results are, in case if there is any dip in this counter up to 1250 support zone, then one should use that as an opportunity to accumulate the stock for the portfolio.
All right, Ruchit, I'd like to shift focus now and talk about another stock, Adani Enterprises, that's been in the news for two reasons. One, a setback perhaps for their Carmichael mine in Australia, but on the other hand, talks of a possible deal with iPhone maker Foxconn. The stock today up over 4%. Your view on Adani?
So that we just observe past few months, then after the adjustment when the Adani gave a sharp fall in one day, So probably lot of traders have got stuck in at the higher levels in this stock. And when the stock now is started coming up, I think that those traders who are stuck at higher levels, they would start moving out of the stock. So probably I don't think there would be much no upside in this stock. On every move, on every up move, there would be a stiff resistance coming in the stock. So 104, 105 is where the near-term resistance is seen, and probably I think in case if that is also crossed, then 116, 17 is where the stock could go. But I'm not expecting a linear up move or a resumption of an uptrend in this one. So clearly, one should stay away from this name.
Okay, stay away from this name. That's the view coming from Ruchit. Ruchit, what about tire stocks? We've seen a lot of action there. They've been buzzing. JK Tyres also reported earnings yesterday after closing. Your views on the tire counters, any particular counters and levels that one should be chasing here?
The tire stocks are doing well. They have after a brief corrective action, they have again started the uptrend. C8, Apollo Tires, JK Tyres, MRF, all of them have started forming high top and high bottom. A couple of stocks, C8 and MRF specifically, still seems to be a good, still seems to be a good potential upside left in these stocks. So any corrective moves, it has already given a good up move in past 1 month. So any corrective action in this stock due to profit booking should be used as a buying opportunity. And C8 and MRF would be the two stocks which would tend to outperform in the up move going ahead.
Okay, let me now shift focus on the oil marketing companies. Your views there given the trend of falling oil prices.
So the overall oil marketing companies are in an uptrend. The broader trend, if you see weekly or monthly charts, have been a formation of higher top, higher bottom. But one space where now I would shift focus if anyone wants to if anyone wants to go long in this space, and rather than oil marketing companies, one should look at buying ONGC now. After a corrective action of last 1 year, the stock is now trading at a long-term trendline support, and I don't think that there is much downside left in this stock now. So 260 to 270 is a good support zone wherein one should start looking to accumulate this stock. One can keep a stop loss below 250, 252. We strongly believe that the stock would bottom out somewhere in this 260 to 270 zone, and again start trend from current levels. So one should, rather than buying OMCs at these levels, one should, I think it's a good opportunity to accumulate ONGC at current levels.
Okay, good opportunity to accumulate ONGC at current levels. The stock right now trading at about 270. What about Reliance?
Reliance is another stock which is in an uptrend, so probably the view is still positive in Reliance also. So any dips could be used as a buying opportunity in Reliance Industries also.
Okay, any dip is a good opportunity to buy Reliance. Its stock is trading below the 1,000 mark right now. 994 rupees is where it is. I'd like to focus also on the sugar stocks that have been buzzing today, especially with the news that the government is considering mandatory export of surplus sugar. Ruchit, your take on the sugar stocks given the recent news?
See, overall, these are cyclical stocks wherein it takes a long time for the stocks to move up. And generally, we have seen in last many years the stock are in a downtrend, all the sugar stocks. And probably now, after this downtrend gets over, we would like to see some sort of sideways consolidative action. However, these stocks tend to be very volatile when such all the news are out. So probably I think these stocks would consolidate for next 3 or 6 months going ahead, and then they may resume an uptrend. So one should not be in a hurry to buy these stocks now. In case if one is having a long-term horizon of more than 1 year or 2 years, then probably in this consolidative phase one can accumulate the stock. But one should not expect big moves from current levels in very short term.
All right, do stay with us, Ruchit Jain. We're going to be back with you in just a moment. Time now for a break, but we'll keep continuing to talk about important sectors and stocks to watch out. Welcome back. Ruchit Jain is still with us, and he's gonna take us through some of the important sectors as well as stocks to watch out for. But before that, a quick check on the Nifty that isn't moving very much, continues to be pretty much where it was over the last couple of minutes. 53 points in the green off the day's highs. 85.70 is where it is, a little over 0.5% in the green. The Sensex also about 0.5% in the green. 28,237, 166 point gain right now for the Sensex. Ruchit, I'd like to focus a little more with you on the IT space. Most major IT companies have reported their earnings. We have a sense of their guidance now. We have a sense of what the market outlook is. Given what we've seen pan out, is there a consolidated view you have on the overall IT pack, or would you approach it in a more stock-specific way?
Yeah, so if you just see this IT pack, then I think there's a more of a stock-specific action which is going to take going ahead. Although there is no negative biasness in this sector, on the entire sector as a whole, stock-specific, we are expecting outperformance from Infosys and Wipro, these two stocks going ahead. Infosys, we have seen that after the results were out, it had a good gap-up opening, and then it is now in a consolidation zone. But once this consolidation is over, then I think this stock would resume the uptrend in this. So any opportunity if around it comes around 1030, 1025, where that the gap on the day of result was, so that would be a good opportunity to buy this stock again, wherein the stock is likely to hit again this new highs going ahead. Apart from this, apart from Infi, we are quite bullish on Wipro. Even at current levels, we are recommending our clients to buy Wipro. We are holding it with the target of 620 in near term. Probably, if we just observe the Wipro, then when last quarter earnings were reported, the stock gave a good corrective action, and post that we saw a sideways consolidation zone where good volumes were taking place. So that was an accumulation phase, and after that accumulation phase, now the stock has started this high top high bottom formation. So I think this stock would outperform going ahead, and even at current levels, one can look to buy Wipro for a target of 620. So Wipro and Infosys are the two stocks in the large cap IT names which we are expecting to these would outperform. And overall, I think CNX IT, if we see, then since last few days it has been in a sideways consolidative mode, and it's likely that the uptrend would resume in the sector.
What about Bharti Airtel, Ruchit? Again, earnings have been reported. What's your view after the telecom giant has reported earnings?
We are not very bullish on Bharti from short-term perspective. On technical basis, we have seen that the prices have given a breakdown from a rising wedge pattern, which is a trend reversal pattern, and is generally formed after a good rally. So after a good up move from 350 to 450, the stock now is showing signs of weakness or correction. So it may not correct significantly, but in short term, I think the stock the stock would correct from current levels and test around 396 to 400 zone. So short-term traders are not advised to go long in this, and in fact, if around 420 to 423, we have also recommended our clients for trading to go short in the stock from trading perspective. We have placed a stop loss above 438, and we are having a target of 396 in near term.
All right, many thanks for joining us and sharing your views. Ruchit Jain there talking to NDTV Profit and giving us certain views on those stocks. Let's now go across to our next guest. We've got Rajesh Baheti joining us.